एक था राम, दूसरा श्याम। राम जी एक था राम, दूसरा श्याम। राम जी
Hi, a very good evening to all of you. Welcome you all to the series on Thursday for Technology. This is a 10th series, it's a 10th session on the series on Thursday for Technology. Whoever missed previous 9 sessions, you can visit the YouTube channel Excelism. There you can find a playlist with the title called Series on Thursday for Technology. This is 10th session. In this session, I would like to discuss about unlocking Power Query, a beginner's guide. Meaning, if you are very initial, if you are not sure about what is Power Query, or you heard about Power Query, but you are not sure about real potential of the Power Query, maybe next 1 hour, I will try to demonstrate what are the best things you can do with the Power Query. Before me going further, I request everyone, whoever watching YouTube live, to confirm whether my screen is properly visible and the voice is clear. Someone please put a message in the chat box. If everything is fine, I can go ahead with today's session. Yes, thank you, Krishna Reddy, for the confirmation. Friends, let me go to this folder. As I always mention, whatever the working files which I'll be using, I'm going to share in this folder. If you are watching live or maybe after the live, the recording, you can find in the description the Dropbox link. You can just click the Dropbox link. All the working files you can download from this folder. Now let me take one working files. Let me keep this working file as a Power Query. Let us first try to understand what is the Power Query. Before me even taking little further into the Power Query, if anyone who is dealing with the data day in and day out, maybe a finance guy or a marketing guy, or from the HR department, or from the sales and administrative department, they need to know about Microsoft Excel. If anyone is trying to directly start learning Power Query, I doubt it is a good option. Once you are good with the Excel, then Power Query, I'm just trying to put all the list of things, being as a data analyst, either from the finance domain or from any of the department, what are the tools minimum you need to learn? Then you must be familiar with respect to the Power Query. And one more tool is Power Pivot. If you are good with Power Query and Power Pivot, then probably you can start learning about Power BI. Once you are good with Power BI, since now you are having a good modeling skill also, you may start learning about SQL, and you can also start making your hands dirty by going into the Visual Basic for some automation. If you still want to become a very pro staff, pro resource at your organization, maybe you can go and start learning Power Automate, Power Apps, and so on. These all are the tools I request all you should learn. Obviously, don't think that these all you can learn within 2 months or 3 months or maybe 1 week. If you ask me, if you want to become a master into all these tools, at least 2-3 years you need to spend. If you want to be at least getting the intermediate level skill, at least 1 to 2 years you should spend, because it's not about knowing an Excel. You must be in a position to do the automation using the Excel. Any organization consider an employee is a valuable employee only when you save time to the organization. The only way you can save time to the organization by automating the tasks. For example, your colleague is spending 1 hour for a particular task. When you are doing the same, if you can spend in 10 minutes, automatically you become a very valuable resource to your organization. But I'm not going to talk about all these. I'm going to talk about this Power Query. Today, I'll give you some introduction. We will try to unlock the power of Power Query. Whenever I kept all these tools, many people may be thinking Excel is a separate tool, Power Query is a separate tool, Power Pivot is a separate tool, Power BI is separate, and so on. But for your information, here, if whatever the things you are observing, the same may be there in one or other tool. So let's go to the next sheet, start looking into the concept called ETL. ETL, Power Query is one of the ETL tool. First of all, let us try to understand what is the meaning of ETL. E means extract. Extract of what? Extract any data source. Extract data from any source. What is the meaning of T? T means transform. Transform means whatever the data you extracted, transform extracted data into any shape. Once you extracted the data, once you transformed the data, the final step is nothing but load. The final transformed data you are going to load back into your Microsoft Excel. Load the transformed data into either Excel for analysis or Power BI for visualization, and so on. Okay, so ETL, extract, transform, load. If you can understand how powerful these three words are, then you automatically understand the power of Power Query. Power Query is one of the ETL tool. There are many ETL tools in the market. Why we are talking about Power Query is Power Query is integrated with Microsoft Excel. Power Query is integrated with Power BI. Power Query is integrated with Power Automate, Power Apps, SQL Server Management application, and so on. So Power Query is part of your native Excel. It's part of your Microsoft Excel. It is part of your Power BI. This is part of your Power Apps. This is part of your Power Automate. This is part of your SQL Server Management application. So if you can learn the architecture, the power of the Power Query, automatically it will be helping you to learn in all the other applications. Just to give you a user interface, exactly what the Power Query is, we will take in today's session examples from the Microsoft Excel. However, 90% of the same user interface you can find even in the other applications, be it Power BI, be it Power Apps, Power Automate, and so on. In Microsoft Excel, first of all, let us see where is the Power Query. Let's go into the versions of Microsoft Excel. When you talk about 2003, 2007, I'm really sorry, Power Query is not available. But if you are using at least 2010 onwards, 2010, 2013, Power Query add-in is available. This must be downloaded from Microsoft, available from Microsoft website. From 2016 version, from 2016 version, Power Query is part of Excel, is integrated with Excel. Wonderful. Since I am using Office 365, let me show you where is the Power Query. Let me go into the data tab, and I'm sure you can find a group called Get and Transform. This part, I call it as a Power Query. Get and transform data. You can get the data from any source, do the transformation, finally load the data back into the Microsoft Excel. But how Excel, if you want to become a master, it is an ocean. You need to spend hundreds of man hours. In the same way, though it looks like this is a small group in one of the tab called data, this is another ocean. Obviously, by spending next 40 minutes, 50 minutes, you cannot become the master. You cannot become the master. But today's session, I just would like to give you a structured way how you can learn the Power Query and the advantages of the Power Query, where exactly this Power Query is helpful in your day-to-day work, so that it opens the doors for you from tomorrow onwards. If such type of assignment or a task is coming, automatically the Power Query will come into your mind. Then using the Power Query, you can do wonders, right? So this is what the get and transform data part when it comes to the Power Query. Now, but there are very limited options, right? Here you can find it, get data, and a couple of other options. But don't worry. When it comes to the Microsoft Excel, Workbook is one window. Visual Basic for application is another window. Power Query Editor is another window, Visual Basic Editor. And also finally, Power Pivot is another window. There are four different types of windows are available in Microsoft Excel. Basically, if you open a Excel application, one workbook window you will get open like this. If you want to go to the Visual Basic editor, go to the developer, click Visual Basic, so that one more window appeared. This is another ocean. If you want to do automation by just clicking a button, the entire task should happen. Then you should become the master with respect to the Visual Basic. In the same way, let me go to the data. Let me go to get data. Let me go to launch Power Query Editor. It is going to open another window called Power Query Editor. I'll talk about user interface, advantages, and so on. This is the Power Query Editor. This is the another window of your Microsoft Excel. But when it comes to the Visual Basic, you can open the Visual Basic. Keeping the Visual Basic editor open, you can go back to your Excel. That's possible. But keeping the Power Query Editor, you cannot go back to Microsoft Excel. That's not possible at all. You cannot go back to the Excel. You have to first either save this or discard this, close it, then only you can go back to your Excel. Then Power Pivot, you can just go to the Power Pivot here, just click Manage. It will take you to the Power Query Editor, sorry, Power Pivot Editor, where you can find the modeling and so on. But in case of Power Pivot, you can come back to your Excel. If you want, you can go back to the Power Pivot. The only problem with respect to the Power Query Editor is when you are in the Power Query Editor, you cannot come back to your Excel. These days, any user interface, when it comes to the ETL or even visualization tools like Tableau, ClickView, Power BI, or analysis tools like Microsoft Excel and so on, the user interface is almost same. On the top, you are having the ribbon menu. On the left side, you will have all the files or the queries. On the right side, you have all the properties. Now, what I will do, I will slowly take you into the Power Query. As I said, Power Query is an ETL tool. You can extract the data from any source. Let's stop there. I can extract the data from which source? How many sources? Let's go to the data. Get data. This is an extract part. You can get the data from a file. That file can be an Excel workbook file, text or CSV file, XML file, JSON file, even the PDF file, even the files which are part of a folder. Let's say your data is there in the CSV file. Instead, you opening the CSV file, copying the data, pasting into Microsoft Excel, you can directly select that CSV file, take to the Power Query Editor, do the transformation, convert into the shape, whatever you looks like, take the data back into your Microsoft Excel. What is an advantage of extracting the data? While I'm extracting the data, Power Query understands the path, remembers the path. Next time, if I change the source data, once I come back to the Power Query and refresh, automatically all the steps it does, finally it will give you the result. Transformed data it's going to present to you. Let's go to the databases. Let's say if your data is there in the SQL Server Database Management, Microsoft Access database, still you can import into your Power Query. Let the data be there in the Azure Data Lake, still you can get it. Even you can get the data from Dataverse, Data Flows, Power BI. Not only these, you can even get the data from other sources. That includes a table arranged from the same Excel file, a web, Microsoft Query, ODBC, even from the picture, very recent update. Let's say you have a picture, that picture you have saved somewhere on the desktop. You can extract the picture. Power Query is capable of handling the OCR. It is trying to read the content and it will paste into your Microsoft Excel. Otherwise, you can just open a blank query. Once you get the queries, you can even combine those queries by using merge option or append. We'll go into these options slowly. This is what launch Power Query Editor. So if you observe carefully, till this part is an extract part. So different sources it has given. This particular part is if you extracted query, then how you can combine that. And this is launching the Power Query editor. You can go to the Power Query editor in two different ways. After you selected any data, that will automatically take you into the Power Query editor. Otherwise, you can open Launch Power Query editor. Let me click this. Now I have opened a Power Query editor. There are two ways you can import the data here. One, either you can go to the data tab and you can import the data from any source. Otherwise, go to the Power Query editor, launch Power Query editor. The same option even you can have here. Right click, new query, any of the sources you can find here. Otherwise, you can find the new query, the same options even you can find here from the file, from the database, from the other sources, and so on. Let's create a blank query. Right click, new query, other sources, blank query, so that you can see what are the properties in the right side pane. That's nothing but the settings. In the left side pane, all the queries you will find it. And because now one query is active, couple of options got enabled. As of now, there is no data. That's the reason nothing is coming in the transform. Otherwise, you will get even the transform user interface, all the tabs and commands. Now it's a blank query. Let me tell you, Power Query is a function-based language, meaning for every step what you do, for every transformation what you do, at the backend, it writes one function. We call that function as yum functions. Let me close this Power Query. Let me discard. Let me talk about a couple of rules of the Power Query. Power Query is a function-based. Power Query is a function-based. It writes a function for every transformation step. We call those functions are M functions. M means mashup. Like how your Microsoft Excel is having the functions like VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, match, index, and so on. In the same way, your Power Query is also having n number of functions. In fact, much more functions than your Microsoft Excel. Whenever you want to do a small transformation, it writes a M function at the backend. But in Microsoft Excel, for every transformation, there is no function. I can give you an example. If I now these days you got the function with respect to the sort, with respect to the filter, and so on. Earlier, there was no functions in Microsoft Excel, sort, filter, and so on. If you want to extract the data, there is no function in Microsoft Excel. If you want to extract the data, everything after the last comma, there is no direct function in Microsoft Excel. You have to use combination of formulas and functions to arrive the final result. But in Power Query, there is a function for every transformation. Almost 800 plus functions are there. Where you can find it. Now let me go to the data. Let's go to get data, launch Power Query editor. First, please have a the command or comfort with respect to the user interface before you go and learn the Power Query. Now let's have the blank query. Now I can start writing the formula. If you are familiar, you can directly start writing the formula here. Otherwise, you can do the transformation steps from the user interface in the ribbon menu. It automatically writes a formula. What we will do, we will just close this, discard. We will take the small data with respect to the Power Query. Now let me take the full name. I'll take a couple of full names. Let's start with my name, Saran Kumar, right? I'll just put it Harshavardhan. I'll just put it Maruti Gandhi. I'll just put it Varun Varma. And finally, Jatin Kumar. There are a couple of names. If I want to extract the first name and middle name, using Microsoft Excel, it's very difficult. You can do that, but you need to write a formula. In Microsoft Excel, if I want to extract the first word using the flash fill, you can do that. When you start writing, it understands the pattern, it automatically give you the result. Here also, I can put it Kumar. When I'm trying to start writing the second answer, it understood my pattern, it automatically give the answer. But the problem of features is, till that point of time, whatever the data is, it's going to give the result for that. But if you go back and edit the data, if I make it Harsha Babu, this will automatically not change because it's not a formula, but it's a feature. But using the formula, can you do this? Of course, it's possible. I can use a function because I want to get from the left side, look into this, then I want to find till the space. So find wherever there is a space from this, -1, close bracket, copy and paste. If I want to get the last name, equal to right function from this, total number of characters minus position of space within this. Oh my God, very difficult, right? So extract the first name and middle name. There is no direct function. You need to combine 2, 3 functions together to get the proper result. But try to understand how I can solve the same problem using the Power Query. And also, when I change the source data, how quick my Power Query result will change, you can understand from this. Now, what I can do, I'll select this data. Let's go to the data. I want to get the source from the table or a range. For your information, if you want to take any range from the same Excel workbook, Power Query will automatically convert that range into the table format. Now let me click this. So it is asking me to create a table because I'm trying to take this into the Power Query. Otherwise, first let me convert this into the table. How to convert this into the table? Either you can go to the insert, click table, that is one option. Other option, go to the home tab, select any of the format of the table, that is the second option. Otherwise, use Control+T shortcut. My table has headers. Let me click OK. Let me click OK. Now, this data I want to take to the Power Query. Now I am extracting from the table. So other sources from the table. Now what happened, this particular data, now you can find in the Power Query, the very important steps I'm going to do now. Please have a look. If you observe carefully, there is a query name here called table1, from where it has taken. And also the same query name you can find in the right side properties. And also by default, it has given a step called source. Every first step, when you import the data into the Power Query, by default, the step name is a source it provides. However, you can change this query name by going to the properties. Otherwise, you can even go back to your table because it has automatically taken the table name in Microsoft Excel. Now let me close this without saving. Now, whenever you convert this into the table, you can go to the table design. Here you can find the table 1. I always have an habit of keeping the table names as TB full names. Now I changed the table name like this. Now, whenever I'm trying to take this particular table to the Power Query, now let's go to the data, get data from other source of the table. Now automatically the query name has changed to TB full names. Wonderful. And also source it has taken. This is one important thing you should understand. One step is source. And if you observe carefully, as I mentioned, every transformation and every activity, what you do in the Power Query, it writes one formula. Now it has written one formula here. What is a function of M function it has used? Excel.current workbook. This is like Microsoft Excel functions. Every function should be as per the Microsoft Excel. However, in Power Query, you can create your own function like Microsoft Excel, the custom functions. But the only difference between Microsoft Excel and the Power Query is Excel is not a case sensitive. You can put some either in the uppercase or in the lowercase. But in case of Power Query is a case sensitive, meaning you cannot put instead of W in uppercase but lowercase. When you are trying to enter, it's going to give you an error stating that expression.error. The name Excel.current workbook was not recognized. Make sure it's spelled correctly. So while you are handling with the Power Query, you must be very careful because Power Query is a case sensitive language. When it comes to the Excel, it's not a case sensitive language at all. Now the function which I have used is Excel.current workbook. Excel.current workbook doesn't have any arguments at all. It is automatically taking in the current Excel workbook all the tables. What other things it can take? It can take all the tables. It can take all the defined names and so on. But what is the meaning of this? Why we have taken like this? Don't worry. Let me delete this. Excel.current workbook, if I enter, it's going to display all the objects from my Microsoft Excel workbook, which is open, which is current workbook for this Power Query. Now, if you observe carefully, it takes TB full names object called table. For that, the table is the data, the content. Now, what I want to do, now I want to take for this table, this has given the result as a table. For this table, I want to get content column. So what I need to do now, I want to tell to the Power Query, please take the content column. Now the columns indicates in the square bracket. We call it as a list. Now let's take content. That means this will provide a table. From that table, I want content column, right? Column is nothing but a list in the Power Query. If I enter, I got the content as a list. Now in this list, I want the first row result. I want to extract the first row value because first row value is a table. Now, how to tell to the Excel that I want to get the first row? In the flower bracket, if you enter, that should be either the list of items or the index of the row. Now I want to take the first row. Can I put 1 here? No, because in the Power Query, the index starts with 0 all the time. Whenever you want to refer the first row means it is 0. Second row means 1. Power Query index always starts with 0. Now, what is the meaning of it? Excel.current workbook has given me a table. From that, if I extract a column, this becomes a list. From that, when I extract this particular item, that is nothing but the first row, whatever there in the first row, it has given me that result. It is exactly giving me the same. Now, let me do other way around. Remove this, enter. Now I want to extract the first row now. What I need to do in the flower bracket 0. So Excel.current workbook has given me a table. From the table, I have taken the first row. Now in this first row, now this is a record. This is a record. Row is nothing but a record. In this record, which column you want? I want the content column. Now let me put in the square bracket, content. Now you still got the same answer. You still got the same answer. There are different ways through which you can try. Now what I can do, now let me remove this. Now what I'll be doing, I will directly click this so that it's going to create another step. Whenever you click this, that means you are trying to extract this table. Otherwise, you go and click this, click OK, you are trying to extract the table. Now let me click this. Now automatically it has created another step. Source has given me a table. Navigation has given me the name of the table, that is TB full names and content. Because in this particular case, I want to take only one particular row. Either you can take like this, or even you can take like this, one and the same. Why? Because earlier I mentioned a specific row name. Instead, I have directly taken the first row. Now let me put enter, both are one and the same. Now there are two steps I have done here. First step, current Excel.current workbook. Second step, I have taken from that table. Source is the meaning of previous result. Then in that first row, content column. Whoever trying to understand Power Query for the first time, I request you, please have a proper command with respect to the list, table, record, function, and so on. Okay. Now, whatever the steps which I am finding here, you can find all these steps in the let in statements. Now let's go to the view. Now let's go to the advanced editor. This advanced editor will have the entire, all the steps for this particular query. Whatever you find in the blue color, that means these all are the reserved words. You can find all the steps. Source is a variable. In this variable, I'm storing a table. That table is coming from Excel.current workbook function, and the TB full names 1. From this variable, in this variable, I want to take source table. In that first row, content column. Finally, I want to get the result TB full names 1. If you want, you can change the name here. I don't want this. I want result table. So let me just put it result table. Because I want this particular result table must be the answer. Let me put here result table. It is automatically identified. Now, another couple of important rules here is that your program should start with let all the time, in the lowercase, in all the time. Between let and in, all the steps must be there. And after in, whatever the final result you want to display, that should be there. And one more rule is that for all the steps, there must be a comma at the end, except for the last step, right? So let me click done. Now let's start doing couple of transformation steps here. What I wanted to do, I want to extract this. Now you go to the transform. Now you go to the transform, or you can go to the add. In the transform, you can do n number of transformation. All table related transformations you can find in the table group. All, if you observe carefully, all the table related transformations I'm finding here. Check it out. If you want, you can transpose your table. If you want, you can reverse your rows. If you want, you can count your rows. If you want to take your first row as a header, or if you want to demote the first row as a record, if you want, you can even do the group by, and so on. Now, if you want to do any transformation with respect to the column, these all are the options. These all are the transformation steps. You can change the data type of any column. Data type basically can be text, date, time, whole number, decimal, and so on. You can even rename the column. You can even replace the values in the column. You can even fill either up or down in the column. You can pivot a specific column. You can convert a specific column into the list. You can move the column either towards right side or left side. You can even unpivot the columns. One of the very important functionality where in Microsoft Excel is not there, but in Power Query it is available, right? When it comes to the text data, there are so many transformation steps are here. If you want, you can split the column. If you want, you can format the column. If you want, you can extract the data. You can merge the columns. You can even parse the columns. When it comes to the number column, these all are not visible now. Why? Because As of now, the selected column is a text column. That's the reason all options with respect to the text column got enabled, except merge columns. Why merge columns is not enabled? Because merge columns will only apply when you selected two columns or more than two columns. But as of now, I have only selected one column. Merge columns did not enabled. Number related, whenever you have a number related column, you can apply a lot of statistics, you can apply a lot of standard arithmetic expressions, you can use anything with respect to the rounding off and so on. When it comes to the date and time, you have a lot of transformation again, date related, time related, duration related, and so on. These all are the transformation steps you can do using the user interface. But I bet 90% of the cases, when we handle the Power Query, we will not go beyond these transformation steps. We think we want to write great functions like M formulas, okay, nested functions, and so on. But majority of the cases, most of the cases rather, I can solve my problem by just using user interface transformation commands, right? Now, if you want to add a separate column, you can go to the add column and you can add a custom column. If you can invoke a custom function, if you want to add a column based on a condition, if you want to insert a serial number and so on. Now, what I want to do, I want to do a couple of steps for this. Now, what I want to do, I want to extract the data. Let's go to transform. I want to extract based on a text before delimiter, text after delimiter, text between delimiters. Now, what I want to do, I want to split the column by delimiter. Wherever there is a space, at each occurrence of the delimiter. You don't have this option in the Excel. You have an option even leftmost delimiter, rightmost delimiter, each occurrence of the delimiter. Leftmost delimiter in the sense, let's say hyphens are there at three places, but I want to get everything before the first hyphen, or I want to get everything before the last hyphen. I want to extract wherever hyphen is there a separate part. In this particular case, each occurrence of the delimiter, let me click OK. Automatically, it has written one step. In this step, it has written one function. The function it has written is table.split column. For this function, table is the first argument. The table we have taken is result table. The previous step answer is nothing but this, as simple as it. Then full name, right? Because the full name column I split. Then again, I have used a function called splitter.split the text by delimiter and so on. You need not bother about these functions when you are trying to use the user interface. Now, let me take this name as a first name, then middle name. Now it has written another Power Query function, table.rename columns. For this, the previous table is the feed, and for these first, for this name, please convert into this name. For this name, please convert into this name. Please replace with this name, right? Now, what I want is, I want to sort the first name A to Z. So let's go to home, Z to A rather, otherwise A to Z. I want to sort the first name ascending order. So table.sort is the function it has used. The very important observation you need to identify is that all the steps, whatever I am doing, all the steps you can find here. Meaning, at any point, you can go back to the previous step. That's the meaning of it. Now, for example, if I want to see all the steps, first I have taken the source. From the source, I have taken the first row, first column value. Then I split the column based on the delimiter. Then I renamed the columns. Then finally, I sorted the rows. After I sorted the rows, I want to have a serial number for this. Let's go to the transform. Let's go to the transform. Otherwise, let's go to add row. I want to add a column with the index number starts with 1. There is a index column added. I want to move this column to the first. I want to rename. By default, it has given index, but I want to make it as a serial number. Wonderful, right? See, with one data, I did lot of transformation steps. If you want to see all the transformation steps, where you can go to the view tab, advanced editor. Wow. You can observe one more thing here. Because it's a single word, I have used the same word here. Because it's a single word, I have used the same word here. But this particular one is not a single word. Split, space, column, space, by, space, delimiter. In those cases, you better mention with a hash than in the double quotation the entire variable. Otherwise, if you don't want this, I can put it simply split column. Because you have taken split column, the same must be the feed for the next step, right? So this also must be split column. Now renamed columns, I don't want with two words. Let me put rename columns. When you have taken rename columns, now you give the same feed for the next step, rename columns. When you take here the sort rows, let me just put it sort. That's all. Now, whenever I take the sort there, I want to give the same result as a feed to the next step. Let me put the sort. Now, whenever I go here, this is nothing but add serial number. Now, this must be the feed for the next table. I can simply take add serial number. And finally, I reordered the column, keep serial number as first column. I'm just trying to put very elaborate. So the same name I want to use into the next step as a field. And finally, this is nothing but my final, right? The same final, I want to have a result here. Now, if no errors are there, it is going to give a green tick mark. No syntax errors have been detected. Now, this is what my entire program for this transformation. Now, what is an advantage of going to advanced editor? Very simple. I can copy this. I can open a notepad. I can open a text notepad. Let me open this. Control V. Let me save this. Save as. Let's go to the Thursday for technology. I want to just do this. Go here. First Power Queries. Transformation. Right? Close it. Now you close this. Wonderful. Wonderful. Now, what are the steps we have taken here? We extracted the data. That is nothing but current Excel workbook data we have extracted. And we did lot of transformation steps. We did lot of transformation steps. Finally, I want to load this data back into my Microsoft Excel. If you go to the Home tab, close and load option is there. If you click this, directly this will go and load as a table in a new Excel worksheet. But I want to show you all the options. So that's the reason instead of me clicking this close and load, let me click this close and load to. Now there are four options. The load, you can load into the back Microsoft Excel as a table, the entire result, what you found in the query as a table, or you want to get that into the pivot table report, because sometimes the source what you have taken may be more than 1 million records. You cannot get into the Excel as a table format. So you want to do the analysis from the data. Otherwise, since the data is already in the Power Query, I don't want to see the transaction level data, but I want to directly see the summarized format. If that is the case, you can use pivot table report. If you want, you can even get it as a pivot table chart directly. Otherwise, you can just create as a connection that is sufficient. I don't want to get the data for the time being, but I want to keep it as a connection. Whenever I want, I can use this connection into some other transformation, right? But if you want, you can again right click, load it to, you are going to get into the same option. Now, in this case, I want to get the result as a table, but this table, I want to paste here. Let me click OK. Wonderful. Now, till now, we have done some transformation steps. Let us see the magic now. If I go and give Okay. Jarun Whittle. There is some name I have written. I'm not even sure what is the name of this. Enter. Now this particular item is part of the table. And whenever I go to data, whenever I click refresh all, what will happen, it refresh all the queries. It refresh all the queries. Once it refresh all the queries, in this particular case, only one query is there. So this particular query, all the steps will be refreshed, meaning it will take the table, this entire table, then it's going to extract into two different columns, then it's going to sort the first name, then it's going to give the index column, then it will rename serial number, then it's going to load back into the Excel. Now, can I go to the data and refresh all? Wow. Now, if I put a name called Aruna Devi, now because I sorted in the ascending order, now Harsha is the first one. Whenever this goes into the transformation, Aruna will automatically come as a first item. Now let's go to the data, refresh, boom. This is a very small case study I have taken. Now, what is an advantage of going into the advanced editor, copying and pasting into a separate notepad? For example, you are somehow impressed with all the steps and what the transformation it does. This is a very small example. You can do wonders. Maybe before closing the session, I'll show you how great the way you can do the automation. Now, what I can do, let me save it. What is this table name? Let me remember this table name. TB full names, right? Let me save this Excel. Save, close. I'll just go to the Google. I'll take ChatGPT. Oh my God. One sec. Oops. ChatGPT's capacity at right now. No problem. Give me 10 two-words names. Just as an example. Otherwise, two words names. Okay, no problem. Otherwise, let me take one Excel file. This Excel file is sample 2. Now, very quickly, I'll take a couple of names. Since I'm from India, let me take some famous celebrities here. Okay, let's take full name, Prabhas Raju, then Narendra Modi, Ram Charan, then Rakul Preet, Amir Khan, right? Then Rohit Sharma, right? And let me convert this into the table format. What is the shortcut to convert this into the table format? I can use a shortcut Control plus T. My table is having headers. Now, table design, I can just go and keep this as full names. This is what exactly it was there earlier. Now, what I'm going to do, this is a new Excel file, right? Let's go to the data, get data, launch Power Query Editor. Let me open my notepad. Control C. I can go here, right click, take a blank query, take a blank query. I can just go to advanced data. Let me remove whatever it is, paste whatever I copied from the previous, right? If I can click done, wow, it does everything for me, right? It's going to give this entire data into the new Excel worksheet, but I don't want in the new Excel worksheet. Let me right click and load the two. I want to take, for the time being, only create connection. This query is contained a table in a workbook. Loading the query in the connection will delete the table. No problem. Right click and load to. Now I want to take a table where in this Excel worksheet, but I want to get here, click OK. Wow. For example, this is Saran Kumar now. Let's go to the data and refresh. It does the work automatically for you. Let's take Anjani Devi. It's going to occupy at the second item now. When I sort it, wow. This is a very basic example, guys. Very basic example. Now, let me save this Excel, close it. That's an advantage of understanding the background of how Power Query work. And just for your information, let me very quickly get how many different type of transformation functions it is having. I'll simply go into a shortcut method, go to the data, launch Power Query Editor. Now, let me right click, new query, take a blank query. Let me give this query name as all M functions, all functions, right? What is the formula? You know what I'm going to write? Equal to hash share. There is a function called hash shared. Don't write open bracket, close bracket, enter. All your Power Query functions will come as a record. Now I simply convert this into the table format. Earlier it was in the record format. I converted this into the table format. Check it out. Check it out. How many functions you have? If you want to know how many functions you have, you can simply go to the transform, count rows, 835. Remove this tab. Now, if you observe carefully, all the functions are having two words. One part is before the dot, the second part is after the dot. Before the dot part is nothing but a category of the function. Example, you have the list. These all are the list related functions. These all are the table related functions and so on. Just to make a quick transformation, you will get to know what we can do here. Now let me select this column. What I'm going to do, I am going to add the column extract text before the delimiter. The delimiter is nothing but the dot. Click OK. Now this is what the before delimiter. Let's take this. This is nothing but category. Now this is nothing but the function name. This is the value of the function. Now what I want is, let's take this into the Microsoft Excel. Let me load this. Now you will get to know a quicker reference guide, how many functions you have. Now you can just have a pivot table on this. Then you will get to know how many functions are there based on the category. Let's go to the category, keep the category into the rows. Let's keep the same category into the value so that you'll get the count. Now I can simply right click. I can just sort this data from largest to the smallest. Then you will get to know table transformation related. There are 111 functions are there. List transformation, there are 72 functions. Date related, there are 58 functions. Very surprising in Microsoft Excel, date and time together, not even 20 functions. Not even 20 functions. But here you have only date related 58, time related also, there are many functions, I'm sure. Okay, then number related 49, list related 42, value related 29, date and time together 26, type related 23, converting date to the text or date to number or number to text, text to number and so on. These all are the different type of functions, binary format, binary related, record related. See how many different type of functions you have, right? Now what I'll be doing, I'll just go here, I'll search for, are there any functions with respect to Excel? Yes. Today we have used Excel.current workbook, and Excel.workbook is another function you can use, Excel.shape table and so on. Just give me another 5 minutes, I'll close the session. Okay. So this can be a very quick guide for all of you. Let me save this Excel file, put it to the same folder. I can just go to the same folder of Thursday for technology. Yeah, all functions of Power Query. Now close it. Now, for example, guys, just as an example, how powerful this particular one, I'll let you know now. We'll take another small case study. Let me take multiple single sheet or else sales data without tables. I'm just taking one small case study for you. One small case study for you. Let me paste this data. Now let me open this data. In this Excel file, in this Excel file, you have 17 departments. Each department sheet is having three columns: product, area, sales, with the different figures. But each department having three columns, but number of line items are different. In some of the sheets where 7 line items are there, some of the cases only 3 are there, some of the cases only 5 are there, and so on. But what I want is, now you will get to know the power of the Power Query. Now what I want is, let me open another Excel workbook. I'll go to the data. This time, I want to get from a file, which is an Excel file. I'll take from the same folder, sales data without table. Let me double click this. Now it will take to a navigation. Now what it is saying, Mr. Saran, you're taking an Excel file. I found all the objects in the Excel file. It found only the objects worksheets. You'll find all the worksheets here. Now you click this folder and click transform data so that all these worksheets will go into the Power Query. Now, if you look here, for every worksheet, it is just giving whether it's a hidden sheet or not. What is the kind? It's a sheet or a table. In this case, there are no tables. What is the name of the kind? What is the name of the sheet? And each sheet, what is the data it is having? The best part of the Power Query, in fact, the powerful thing of the Power Query is a Power Query cell can save even the binary. A Power Query cell can save the table, can save the list, can save the record, and so on. Right? Now, if you observe, each cell, this is a sheet name. In that, I have a table, is nothing but the range. This is the second sheet. I'm also having another range. Now, what I am going to do, I want to expand all these columns from this data. But before expanding, I don't want this column, this column, this column. These all are not required. Right click, remove columns. It's going to add another step for me. Now I want to expand all these columns. Let me click OK. Wow, it expanded all the data one below other, appended all the data one below other. Now what I want is, I want to remove the titles because every Excel sheet is having the title. Yes, product area sales, product area sales. I don't want the titles. So wherever in the number column, wherever nulls are there, I don't want. That's the first thing. Then the second thing is, it doesn't equal to, I'll just put it a filter called sales. I want doesn't equal to sales. And also, I don't want null, because null may be a chance some of the blank values will be there, because in the source data, if you add some data and delete later, it consider it as a null here. No problem. Other than null, other than sales, it has filtered. Now I want to have a proper name for this. This is nothing but a department name. Then this is nothing but a company name. This column is nothing but the location. And finally, this column is nothing but the sales. Now you observe department 1, 2, 3, 4 till 17 it has given. Now I can simply close and load 2 because it's a blank Excel workbook. You can get anywhere. Let's click OK. Wow. The entire data from this Excel workbook, all the 17 sheets came one below other. That's not the power of Power Query. The power of Power Query, you know what? Let me add another department with DPT 18. Now let me take some random data, copy, paste here, right? I want to take this as A and west. This is south. This is not just for the identification, 10,000, 20,000, and finally, this is 30,000. Now let me save this Excel file. Go back to your Excel where you applied the Power Query steps. Go to the data. Now, if I refresh, what will happen? Do you think it's going to add that department 18 automatically here? Please put in the chat box. Whoever watching this live, please put in the chat box. Do you think if I refresh, automatically 18th sheet will get added every below 17 departments? Please put in the chat box. This is the real power of the Power Query. Okay, I'm just trying to open the doors for you to think, automate, transform, analyze. Very good. So let me refresh. It does all the steps for you. Now department 18 is also got added. Now department 18 below nothing is there, right? Now what I'll be doing, I take the same sheet here. Let me make it as a department 20 without having department 19. Now I just want to have some Sharon instead of AB. Now let me have all the three same location. Now let me have equal to and between some 10 to 1000. Copy paste special values. Save it. Now you come back, refresh. Do you think sheet number 20 will come? Absolutely. This is the Power Query. However, in today's session, I have just given you a very basics. Whoever did not know anything about the Power Query, probably you can understand what exactly the Power Query can does. What are the powerful things we can do with the Power Query? Just give me another 2 minutes. I'll complete it. Let me show you the transformation, what I have done using the Power Query. For example, Forex. One second. I'm just trying to search for FX rate transformation. If at all anything we can find, one second. Otherwise, yeah, you check it out. This is a small Power Query I have done just for your information sake. Have a look. Now your mind is unlimited. You can do n number of things using the Power Query. What is this particular Power Query automation? What I have done, generally the reconciliation is something which we do every day in and day out in our day-to-day work. If you observe, this is the data source is from the ERP. This is the data, the source is from the bank. This is what the way we do the reconciliation. We start from the balance as per source 1, will reach to the balance as per source 2. Otherwise, sometimes we start with the balance as per source 2, we reach to the balance as per source 1. And along with each item, I want to have an extract. Only available in ERP, what is an extract? Only available in the bank, what is an extract? Available in both with the differences, what is an extract? And reconciled items, how many are there? Now, if I go and do some changes here, now let me delete this. Now, for example, let me delete these three. Now, automatically this reconcile has to change because I deleted some of the things from ERP and bank. Now you go to the data. Now you refresh all. Boom. Everything will automatically update for you. Check it out. All the tables got automated. Now the extra items got deleted. Now, for example, the only source which is available here. Now let me put 501. I'm sure this is the unique reference which is only there in the bank, right? I am just trying to give you for your information 800. Ideally, this must be there only available in the bank. Yes or no? Now let me go to the data, refresh, and also this value will get automatically increased with 800. Let's go to the data, refresh. Boom. This 800 got updated. That 800 got added to the previous 12,500. How simple it is. For an organization, I have given this solution where they copy paste their books data here, they copy paste their bank statement data here, automatically they'll get this extract. if I can connect to my Tally or SAP, the books, if I can connect to my bank or any of the apps through which I can automatically extract the bank statement, my reconciliation is a real time. See, I'm just trying to unlocking the things for your imagination. Okay, this is one of the very simple thing you can do using a Power Query. And let me also do it for you. Currency rate automation. 1 second. Yeah. One file I'm opening for you just to show you another important thing using the Power Query. Twice. Let me go to this currency rate automation. I want to go ahead. Yeah. If at all it is there, I'll just show you. This particular data is basically, if I want to change a specific date, now I want to know the currency rate from 1st January 2023. Otherwise, I want to take today's date. Okay, from today, otherwise today minus 30. Okay, now for these two dates, I want to know what is the currency rate INR versus USD. You can just go to the data, refresh. Now what it does, it's going into these two web URLs, looking into the table, filtering for USD, and it's going to provide here. I did this long back. I have opened this long back. I'm sure that this work. Otherwise, maybe I'll update this file and share across to all of you. Now, what it is doing, running the background query, because for the first time now it is going back. It is taking a little time. What it does, it will go to this particular web link first. It will extract the data. It filter the data. It will keep it aside. It will go to this link, extract the data, filter the data, keep it aside. Finally, all those things it will append one below other here. Let's hope for the best. It's going to give a proper result for the currency rates. Just wait for another 1-2 minutes. Hopefully it work. Hopefully it should work. If until unless the link got changed by the website xc.com, ideally this should work. Yeah, it's still running the background query. Don't worry. It's trying to access the data. Ideally, it should not take this much time if your network is good. But first time when you're trying to, absolutely, it's working. Check it out. If you surprise, you can go and check. Now what I'm going to do, I'll take today -1 so that this is yesterday's and today's currency. I'll just go and refresh. It will not take much time now because it's already taken the cache data. Now it will make it very quick for you. Absolutely. Right? Now, if you take here, automatically the data got updated. Now you go to this particular website and automatically it will get changed. Now what I'm going to do, today minus 30, but I want to take for 20 days currency. If at all it is there, now what I'm going to do, let's go to the data, refresh. For all this 20 days currency, it updated. You don't believe, is it? Don't worry. Let me prove that it is correct. I'll just go to this particular website. Let's confirm. US dollar is 81.755660. Right? Now let's go to my template. 81.755660. How much time it has taken? Less than a second's time. Right? So that is the power of Power Query. Again, I'm telling guys, obviously, this is an ocean. You can't learn within 1 hour or 2 hours. You have to continuously practice. That's all for this Thursday for technology. See you all in the next week with something more interesting session. Thank you so much.